My name is Pat Donnelly. I went to Ludden from 1972 to 1976. And then I started coaching at Ludden in 1987-88 season. I played junior and senior year. Actually, my sophomore year, I played for Mark Waddick. Mark Waddick had just graduated from Syracuse University, and he started teaching at Ludden, so I was on his first team at Ludden on the JV team. And then played varsity as a junior and senior, which back in those days was a norm. And played with some great players, John Kobar, who went to Wichita State, and Mike McNerney and Matt Waddick, and so we had a pretty good team back then. Well, I think that if you look at all the people that are going into the Hall of Fame, and they've all been successful, whether athletically, academically, or professionally, I think Ludden played a big role in that. I think that the education we received was second to none. I think that the discipline, the religion, going to a private school, I think was all a real plus. And Bishop Ludden was the type of situation where it's always great to be supportive when things are going well, but if something is going tough in your life, Ludden was right there to rally around people. And I think that it stayed that way to this day. Well, obviously, it's a huge honor. I've been fortunate enough to be inducted in a couple other Hall of Fames, but when your alma mater puts you in a Hall of Fame, it's something very, very special. And a quick story with that about Ludden is never about one person. It's never about a couple of people. It's about the team. It's always about the group itself. And that came down from Terry Quigley to Jerry Wilcox to all of the coaches that I had. And just recently, when Coach Quigley had passed away, I went up to Rochester to the funeral with Mark Waddick and Dan Craver and Mark's wife, Nikki. And on the way up, all Mark and Dan talked about was how good Phil Harlow was. And Phil was the guy, and he was the reason. And when we get up to Rochester, we're talking to Phil, and all Phil talked about was how important Mark Waddick and Dan Craver were. So you could see right away the mutual respect, but it wasn't about them. It was about the other guys, and it was about the team completely. And the biggest thing for me in all of these years has been my wife, Lori. That she's been the one who's been behind me every step of the way. Good times, bad times, but she never once, without her, it would not have been possible to coach high school basketball. That she was there the whole time, late dinners and taking care of the team and washing uniforms, running the concession stand. So, that my biggest debt of gratitude goes to my wife, Lori. I think Ludden, and you'll see by this class, it's a tradition of excellence, starting right from Terry Quigley and Mark Waddick and Phil Harlow down to Jerry Wilcox, and then passed on down through. That you won't call it pressure, but the anxiety to do well when you're in an athletic role or in a coaching role is pretty strong. And I think that the kids today have to understand that everybody got there because of hard work. Nothing was handed to these people. That they worked hard. And they produced. And the people that were teaching there, the administrators and the coaches, were all there for the right reasons. They weren't there because of anything else. They were there to help the students.